Hello, it's Rigers. In today's video, let's look closer on magic attributes, magic affixes, which should be min-maxing for your best performance. Let's begin. On the background, you can watch the battle from new battleground map with my full resonance build. When my wings are on, I am playing my full resonance. When my wings are off, I am playing my low resonance build. The build which you can see right now is my tank build, which after a lot of testing I discovered that this tank build is for me personally better for new battleground map, and my DPS build is better for old battleground map. And now let's look on the magic attributes. Let's start with my magic attributes on my set items. I will show you my every set item, and very important magic attributes are damage done to players increased and damage taken from players reduced, because these two attributes are not nerfed by the strife by 66%. They have their full power. Then another very important magic is movement speed, because faster you are, then better are your chances to outrun your enemies and survive longer, or catch your enemies and kill them. Now here on my belt I have beneficial effect duration increased by 6%. These are again very important because it's increased the duration of your conjuration of light, which is very important for PvP, and it's increased the durations of your skills, which grants you a buff, and your legendary gems. If we are talking about skills, it works for Lofty Light, Heart of Grandeur, so it's perfect. Then maximum life. This is my tank build, so maximum life magic attribute for this build again is super important, because it's not only increase my max HP, but it's increase my shields, because shields are taken from my HP. So my hands has skill cooldowns reduced, movement speed increased, damage done to players increased. My boots, unfortunately here I don't have the beneficial effect durations, which will be very good here, but I have maximum life again and damage taken reduced. On my ring again I have movement speed increased, damage taken from players reduced, and damage done to players increased. On my second ring, skill cooldowns reduced and damage done to players increased. And here I have only one magic attribute. This is my weakest item, but on the other hand I have the max bonus here, damage taken from players reduced by 2.5%. And on my last piece I have damage taken from players reduced by 1.5% and maximum life increased by 1.5%. So these magics are the best for Crusader, for PvP if you want to be really tanky. For DPS build it's practically the same. And now let's look on my main legendary gear. So on my helm you can see I have magic accuracy rating, because accuracy rating is a little bit tricky. Currently I run it only on my helm, but you can run, and in the past I ran the max accuracy rating, because some players are stacking the evasion and then it's hard to hit them and kill them. But in fact it's more important for your DPS build than for your tank build, because with my tank build my main goal is not to kill the enemies, but to survive as long as possible on the idle, as you can see on the background in the battle. So here for my main legendary gear, the most important magic, normal magics, are critical hit chance and, for example, here critical hit damage. These are the two are the most important, especially the critical hit chance, because I don't have Railing Consequence. I have Railing Consequence only as an auxiliary gem, so for me it's super important to have as high as possible critical hit chance. If you have max level at Railing Consequence, then you are in better spot than me. On my helm, then there's a skill damage increased, which is again very important skill for Crusader, or magic attribute for Crusader, because it's increased the damage of your skills. But all of these magics are nerfed by the Strife by 66%. So let's look on my shoulders, because my shoulders are special. They are fully defensive, and as you can see, I have the Endure here, which means that evading an attack grants you a shield equal to 5% of your maximum life for 5 seconds. Cannot occur more often than once every 12 seconds. So for this to work, you need some evasion, and for this case is perfect the rune here. Yes, here this rune, because this rune has as an attribute evasion rating is increased by 0.8% for every nearby enemy up to a maximum of 8%, which works very well with our shoulders. Then the second Endure shields also grant 2 charges that each absorb damage equal to 50% of your damage from a single hit. Again, it's increased your survivability. And the resistance gain a shield equal to 15% of your maximum life for 5 seconds when falling below 10% life. As you can see, I have 2 out of 4, because here's my second rune. When I am running the resistance, the max resistance bonus gain a shield equal to 20% of your maximum life. This attribute is very strong, and it saved my life so many times. And now let's look on the magics on Terror Rift FXs. Judgment. The Judgment is backbone of this build, and you should be running 4 out of 4 pieces, because hits on enemies suffering negative effects change them to the target location for 1 second, stunning them for 3 seconds when the chain breaks. This 1 second works for one piece. If you have 4 out of 4, it's for 4 seconds, which is super long and super annoying for enemies, especially if you have high potency with combination with the set here with the Baron, which increase the duration of your harmful effects by 30%. So I am running this Judgment on all of my 4 pieces, and as you can see, I am running beneficial effect duration. I have 6% on my pants, 6% on my, where it is here, 6% on my chest. Then my shields. By the way, this shield is my best piece of equipment, because I have Judgment here, Condemn, which is good Terror Rift effects for PvP too, and then max critical hit chance increased by 4% and critical hit damage increased by 6%. And here you can see again the Judgment and the critical hit chance increased by 4%. For my main hands, I have skill damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and here the same skill damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage. So in general, you should be min-maxing these magic attributes, because it makes huge difference. and I mean really huge difference in the PvP and in PvE too, because it's increase your damage or your survivability by a lot. So focus on them. You can change them with your scrap materials, which is perfect, but it's relatively costly. And here you can see my stats. My accuracy rating 12%, my critical hit chance 29%, and which is good if we say that it's from the baseline. Critical hit damage 28.5, cooldown reduction 15%, and movement speed is on the max. So these attributes are achievable for everyone because it's free-to-play mechanic. You cannot pay for them. So hopefully this will help you to optimize and min-maxing your Crusader, but this can be applied for other classes too, of course, with a little adjustments. For example, with critical hit chance, because some classes has better base critical hit chance, or I mean from some essences, but it works for everyone. So thank you guys for watching and see you next time.